What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Avalanche today at the request of Night City AVAX. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, we're looking at this on a monthly time frame. We've come a long ways. It's been a very boring and long, drawn-out consolidation phase that you've been in here since December 2023. From that relative low to the relative high of that initial move here, you've pulled back and you found support at the golden ratio, came back up, and then found support again at the golden ratio with a little double bottom action going on here. On a weekly basis, you are not getting oversold. You've tried so hard, and you just are not getting oversold. You're getting overbought, no problem, but you're not getting oversold. This is a very strong signal in the RSI. This tells us that, obviously, it tells us that you have a harder time showing weakness than you do showing strength, and that's a good thing. That's a bullish thing, if anything. You're finding support at the golden ratio. You're finding support at these areas of prior resistance and prior support back here. I don't see anything wrong with Avalanche. Of course, it's not ideal. It never is ideal to see lower lows like this or long, drawn-out consolidation phases like this. Man, we're supposed to be in a crypto bull market, and we've been consolidating for over a year. Crazy stuff, but I think that's about to come to an end, and I think that you are about to make your next move to the upside. I actually theorize that by the end of June, most of crypto is going to have a phenomenal time, a bullish phase up, and I think that AVAX will be clearing this zone here of these highs. Now, are you going to see new all-time highs by the end of June? I don't know. Maybe not. I think something comparable to this move could happen, right? And if we see something comparable to that from the low to the high, it's not pinpoint accurate, but let's just see from low to high. Yeah, something above these highs, but maybe not to new all-time highs. I do believe Avalanche will see new all-time highs this cycle. I just don't believe it's going to happen by the end of this next move in June. If we take the all-time high to the bear market low into consideration here, high to low, you actually did the same thing that you're doing on the flip end, didn't you? Wow, look at that. Rejecting the golden ratio twice. You even, whenever you rejected the golden ratio the first time, you came down and found support at the 236. To be fair, I guess you did reject it. You've rejected it more than twice at this rate. But if we look at it here, we delete this. You bring on the low to high. That golden ratio there, you found support, and then you went all the way up through the 236 there as well. I just think it's kind of funny. It seems very similar, but I guess it's less similar than I thought than I originally thought as we're picking this apart here. But looking at it nonetheless, you are holding the 236 as support. That's very keen. That's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Essential. It's very essential that you do not close below the golden ratio. You did for a week, but immediately got back up above it and had a bullish reversal, bullish engulfing candle there. Beautiful. Couldn't even get oversold. I love it, man. Double bottom on the RSI, which is like some form of bullish divergence here. I think that you are going to retrace this, and whenever it comes time to breaking above your highs here, above the golden ratio, your next target area would be the 786 to 886. So you're at $20 right now. We're looking for a move by the end of June that takes you up to about $80 to $110, somewhere in that area there, right? That's kind of the expectation. Oh, yeah. Something on that note. If we take our relative high here to the relative low, something like that, the 1272 to the 1414, that makes sense. It's well encapsulated by this range here, the 886 and the 786. The 1618, I like it because it's the golden ratio, and you've been interacting with the golden ratio a lot here. I'm actually curious. Let's see. What did you do here, even from a high to a low? What did you do? Can I get the low? Is that okay? Am I allowed? You just skimmed the 1618 there, didn't you? I don't know. Maybe you see that. Maybe you do get a 1618 extension, but the highest I'd give you, again, I don't think you get to new all-time highs, but the highest I'd give you is like $130, I suppose. If I had to really give a parameter of what I would expect or think that anybody should expect, it'd be something between $80 and $100. You're at 20 now, so that's some pretty solid growth, man. The average altcoin, I think, is going to see, what is it, like a 4x by the end of June here. And on your minimum end, on the lower end, you've got that going for you. So 4x, 5x potential, a little bit more than that by the end of June. That's what we're calling for. Looking at this on a daily perspective now, winding it down a little bit, daily time frame. I want to look at the 3-day real quick. 3-day looks good, man. You look set up to go higher for sure. I don't believe you go lower. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is not confirmed as the low yet. We have yet to confirm it as the low, and even still, I don't think that you go lower. I think all you have to do is get above this high here, get above about $23, get above $23 on a daily closing basis, and you will solidify this double bottom for what it is. It's the low of this overall move down, and you'll begin retracing it. If we take this relative high here to this relative low, I'm going to take this low, the first low. I'm not going to take the fake out low, okay? Oh, yeah, you look good. You look really good, man. I think that you're moving up. Probably by the end of April, you'll be at targets. You're at $20 now. You'll be up like at $26. Little pump there. It's like a 30% pump or so. If not, my guess would be if you're not at like $25 to $26 by the end of the month, the reason why is because you're only going higher, right? You might see a run all the way up to about $34 to $37. I think it's going to happen soon. You've got this kind of, a lot of cryptos have this right now where they have this little like bull flag at the base here, a little bull flag right there. And if it is a bull flag, and I think it is, that measure move from the low to the high, that takes you right up to about $26, which is that initial area that we're looking for. So I like that. That makes sense to me. That whenever you break out of this downward sloping resistance that you've had for a long time, whenever you break out of this, that you would go first to your primary area of resistance here, your last area of resistance right there. That makes sense. And then beyond that as well, from a relative high to the relative low, that's also where your 382 is, right? Just above the 382. It's very common in your first interaction with the 382 to go just above it. You'll find some resistance up here. Maybe you'll consolidate here just below. Maybe you'll consolidate just above. Those are the more bullish options. Or the more common option is to find resistance like this. You wick above the 382 and then close below it. Then you go back to your 236 to find support, which is also an area that you just found resistance. So you'd be constructive. One way or another, man. Whether you go to the 236 or not, you'll find some support at relative areas of resistance and show some constructiveness, getting you set up for more growth to come as the weeks and the months develop ahead of us. I very much believe that Avalanche will see new all-time high targets this year by the end of 2025, just not by the end of June, not by the end of this next phase up, right? I think that by the end of June, or by the end of the year, by the end of this bull cycle, which I'm expecting for the average altcoin to be in November, but it could be earlier, it could be later. I'm thinking late Q3 to Q4 for 2025. That's when I think the average altcoin will have its bull cycle terminated, whenever the bear cycle will begin, or at least whenever we stop growing as much. But nobody knows the future. That's just my prediction, my expectation. It's kind of been the expectation that I've had for years now, and I feel like the data only agrees with that more as time goes on. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Timing is really the hardest thing to get in this game. But macro turning points and events are a little bit more obvious, I suppose, though hidden at the same time. Anyways, getting away from the semantics of my dialogue, we're at $20 now. From a high to a low perspective, the average altcoin, just speaking plainly here, the average altcoin does, whenever they grow to a new all-time high in their next bull cycle, whenever they see their cycle finish, the average altcoin does hit a golden ratio 1618 to a 2272 target, somewhere in this range, generally speaking, whenever we talk about their prior bull cycle high to the bear cycle low, if they see new all-time highs, right? Not the average altcoin, let's just put it plainly too, does not see higher highs cycle after cycle. They don't. But for the ones that do, you normally stop in the 1618 to 2272 area. So let's take that into consideration. What would that do for you, Avalanche, from your current price? Let's get it right there on that to your 1618. That's about a 41x. That's not bad, man. A 41x. That's above average. The average coin, I think, is going to do something closer to a 30x. So what would a 41x do for Avalanche here? Let's pull you up, AVAX. Wow. $8.3 billion. What's that's a 240 billion? Is that right? Or 200? What was 40 times 8? That'd be 32. Wow, I did my math really bad right there. So that'd be a $320 billion market cap. That's a lot. That's an intimidating number, a multi-$100 billion market cap. But I think AVAX could see that. I think out of most cryptos, it deserves a $100 billion market cap, potentially even by the end of the cycle. I will say, the one thing holding me back from thinking that you could see the 1618 or higher is that you are so far away from your current all-time high, and I don't expect you to break it before June. And we're just running out of time, man. We're running out of time. So unless you make some strides higher in a very short amount of time, unless by the end of June you're up at $100 or higher, 852 might not be an appropriate target, and maybe we should lessen it to something that is on par with the more average move for the average coin. Going just above the 1414 is a very common thing to do. $500, nice psychological area of resistance, and that'd promote a 26x from here, 27x from here. So yeah, 530, that could be the area that you stop at. That is average, that's expected, and that still would take Avalanche to a well over a $100 billion, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd take it well over $100 billion. So very possible outcome there. But let's stick with this 1618 for now. Let's give the nod of approval that Avalanche could see a over $300 billion market cap, potentially like around 300 and what would that be, like 330 if it were to go to about 852, 330, 320, somewhere around there, I think. Probably closer to 330. If you were to go higher, the next target area would be the 1886, and that's all the way up at about $1,800. Now we're getting a bit crazy, right? We're talking about a 90x on a market cap that's already at 8.3 billion. I mean, 100x puts you at 830 billion. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's largely becoming unlikely that happens, right? It's already going to be quite an accomplishment just to get to 852. So I think we can cap it probably at $1,000 for your cycle high expectations as far as the maximum expectations go. Nice psychological level of resistance there at $1,000. But the golden ratio there, the 1618, that doesn't lie either. That $852 price there could be where you go by the end of the cycle. And don't be disappointed. It's a very applaudable thing. It's a very commendable thing for Avalanche to even stop at like 530 or 550. And I do believe that you would at least get there, if not this level of 852. Anything past that's a little bit hard for me to see, right? I don't think Avalanche is going to be worth $1 trillion by the end of the cycle. I don't think that it'll have a multi-trillion-dollar market cap or anything like that by the end of the cycle, so I don't even want to measure the 2272, but these are my expectations, I suppose. If we're taking this relative high here to this relative low, you got your 2618 right there at that $450 level. Your money zone, right? This is the money zone. I colored it orange because Bitcoin's the color of money. It lines up very well with this in between the 1414 and the 1618. So I like seeing that. That makes a little bit of sense to me. What if we take the overall high? I don't know if this is an appropriate fib to take, but maybe it is. Let's just see. Overall high here. Yeah, that 2618 comes in line there. And then again, $1,000 shows up. I could see this happening, but I like this one more. I think it makes a lot more sense that you would stop somewhere in this area here, somewhere in this area here, something like that makes a lot of sense to me. And the path forward even, right? You've got your fib extensions right here, 122 to $78. This encapsulates exactly what we're thinking is going to be the June target, end of June target, and then you carry on your merry way to the end of the cycle here. It just all makes sense to me. So I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. Weekly RSI, bullish as hell on it, man. It looks phenomenal. It's weak right now. Don't get me wrong. You're at some of your weakest points, but the fact that you've shown a lot of strength getting overbought like this and you just refuse to get oversold, that is showing strength, in my opinion. That is a show of strength. Bullish divergence on the 3-day time frame, looking like you want to see prices above the or readings above the 50. That's going to be good. Getting overbought, getting away from this oversold zone, that'll be good as well. I would expect by the end of April, over the coming week and a half, you will see prices that are up as high as like $26, maybe even higher. Maybe you do go all the way up to $34 or higher, but I doubt that you get too far above like $40 or even, I wouldn't even think that you're above $35 by the end of this month of April. But that will be, those are targets that are reserved more for May, is my kind of expectation. But I've got nothing else to say. I think I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm going to end the video there. Let's look here. Moving up, yeah, looking good. Looks like you're going to move up now, like today, right now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I'm sure you're going to be moving up today. Like, I mean, you're already moving up now. You're up 5%, but I don't think it stops here is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't stop until you're at least at like $26, yeah. Okay, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.